it's a big story that you see on the wall there. I'm really grateful for my niece Darlene Gate, my cousin Butch Dick, and all the youth that took part in painting those pictures. Because it's a beginning.
Well, the project really began at the time when the Harbor Authority was formed. One of the commitments that was made at that time was that we would work with the nations to find economic development opportunities and awareness opportunities for the Coast Salish people and the history of the Coast Salish people within the Victoria Harbor. We started talking about, well, what could we do to involve youth and to create awareness and arts in the community.
So when you're looking at artwork, you can just about tell what nation they're from. And later on, when you get really good at it, you can tell even what artist made them. You have the curved, straight line joined together by two curved lines. Straight, curved line joined together by two curved lines. So just practice those for a few minutes. We met at some gathering. He said, well, what do you think of this idea? And I said, yeah, it sounds like a good idea. And he said, would you be willing to be a part of it? And of course, I'm the only artist on the band, so he said he wanted Tongies and Esquimalt involved. I said, well, if we could make it happen, that'd be good, but you know, there's all the logistics that we have to think of actually producing a mural on cement blocks and all the other complications.
And Butch went back to the Songhees with the idea, and then we approached Chief Andy Thomas about the engagement of the Esquimalt. And Chief Thomas recommended that we talk to Darlene Gate.
Okay, I'm going to pass a piece of paper out. Does everyone feel like they're in the zone, kind of, to come up with an idea?
I feel nervous.
Do you? Okay, you don't need to come up with it right away, but what you can do is sketch on another piece of paper, and when you're ready, you can start on this one. So maybe what I'll do is I'll get some paper. Growing up, I didn't really learn much about my culture through the city of Victoria. I mean, you could walk through the city of Victoria as a tourist and know nothing about our people and never learn anything about our people and die not knowing anything about our people. And that's been happening for generations. And I felt, for the last 15 years, I felt this sense of yearning that I need to be involved in a project that's going to bring the knowledge of our people to the surface so people will know that we're not extinct.
And then they came up with this idea that Butch would paint the sea creatures and Darlene would do the land creatures, and they would wave it back and forth between the two. We started talking about the challenges of how do you have these youth actually paint a mural onto the wall.
As artists, we're not going to hang over the breakwater and paint on the breakwater, so all those things had to be discussed and all the safety issues.
Initially, we looked at doing the outside breakwater wall because we felt it would be safer for the youth, and we were envisioning at a time actually painting on the wall. So we decided, well, we need a coordinator, so that's when Dean came along, and Dean took on the role of coordinating the youth and hiring the youth and working with the logistics of the project.
I think what we'll do, we'll put it over here.
How it was going to be done still hadn't been figured out. Like, were we going to paint on the actual concrete, and were we going to project from some distance away, project the images onto the wall, sketch them on, and paint them? We'd have to do that in the evening. And then the risks of painting over rocks and a 12-foot drop. Everybody was going to have to be strapped into harnesses and so forth.
So we realized if we just do it on panels, the youth are safe. We can do it in the shop, and then we can just figure out a way to paint those and then mount them onto the breakwater.
So now we could focus on the artwork itself and preparing the panels.
There are 100 panels and there are 20 designs, and we've done 3 and we're starting the 4th.
Yeah, I feel like we accomplished a lot compared to like the first week that we were here, like it took us a while to finish one design, but now we like got 4 or 5 of them going at once.
It's lots of fun. It's always challenging because there's a new picture with difficult lines or difficult shapes, which you need to do.
We were able to build our projection room basically, where we could hold the panels completely flat against the wall, which was important for projecting and sketching the images correctly, and then being able to line up the panels in a way that we could paint the lines correctly.
I'm Bonnie Quate, and I'm from Victoria, from the Songhees Nation, but my father is French and Irish. I would describe it as First Nations art that represents our people and our connections to the land and the sea, and that we never want to forget that. I guess it makes me feel more ready to be able to have a job in that area on my own too. Like once I've had this experience, maybe I'll have the confidence to start projects, you know, get a group of youth together and start different projects.
Yeah.
So I think that it is really motivating and empowering for all of us here.
And now that I've learned some of the paint brushes from here, like I learned how to use them, like watching Bonnie do gradient, it sort of helps me learn. So I feel like I've gained a lot from doing this. And I'm very thankful.
Yeah, I'm also like really grateful to be working on this project, like be able to come here and like be around people and like paint. It's like my 2 favorite things, like people and art. Like.
We only had about a 3-week window for hiring people, and we got about almost 100 applications.
Just from knowing these kids for the short time that I've known them, which is 2 or 3 weeks, I can say that I've seen changes in them already. Like, you see their confidence level changing when they're working on the mural. They're so excited and driven to do it. You see that they're understanding that this is bigger than just who they are. Like they're doing it for a bigger purpose, which is rare these days to see kids or young people who even care about those things. But they do. They care so much and so deeply because they're already thinking about becoming artists, a lot of them.
I'm more interested in art now. I felt at first that I couldn't do it, but like once I got here and I noticed how everybody was doing it, I was like, oh, it's okay, we can accomplish this. It's not really that hard as I thought it would be.
I'd like to paint more, I think, and keep learning too now. It's really grounding to be able to paint and do something for the community. So
I still learn, and I learn from young people, and I learn, from their energies and their spirit, that sort of thing. It's sort of watching them, and sometimes they come up with some really neat new concepts, and I say, oh, I never thought of that. That's good.
I think if we incorporated the animals well, it would be okay. Like, if it wasn't just an animal here in front of the tree, another animal in front of the tree, another animal in front of the tree, like they could be kind of, yeah.
They all totally respect what we're doing and they completely understand because that's all I do is talk about it when I'm with these kids, who are wonderful, by the way. I just love each and every one of them, like, just love them.
It was really nice working with her and like getting to know her too. She's a really cool person, and yeah, she like taught us how to do the gradient. You start with your green and you kind of pull it up almost in like a crisscross motion, and then eventually just blend it in.
1 or 2 of the youth that were not First Nations, but were exceptional artists, and we wanted to bridge the relationship between First Nations and the other cultures in Victoria.
I think it's gonna be really cool once they get up there and they can be like, look what we've been working on so far. Like, it's really great. And we still have more to come.
Well, the finished mural, I think that it would be a new attraction that would be of regional interest and national interest. It would be a story of the Coast Salish people in the Victoria area, and it would extend from its current beginning to right to the 1.1 kilometers to the end of the breakwater.
I can see this going through to the very end. I can see that legends that have been forgotten about, revived over the years. I can see a lot of our tribes loosening up and saying, okay, let's let them learn about this one. Because right now, our First Peoples are very protective over our legends. But I think they're seeing the importance of allowing people to learn about it. I mean, I walk into any store, I walk into any bookstore, I look in the archives, there's no information on our people. It's like we've just disappeared. I mean, we're writing our own book for the whole world to see. And that, it doesn't get much better than that.